Okay, if you take a closer look, this is how the edge of the acrylic would look like before it was fouled. And when you clamp the materials for your fouling, make sure the edge that is going to be fouled parallel to the surface of the bench to ensure accuracy of fouling. Alright, so now the instructor will demonstrate to you how he fouled. Look at the way that he hold his foul. It lies at an angle compared to the material. And he always stand to ensure that the force is sufficient to foul the materials. And you notice that he will pay more attention to the area that's still very rough. So when he foul, he observes to see which part of the acrylic is not fouled yet, and he will pay more attention and foul more closely to that particular area. So now this is the acrylic, and pay attention to how it looks like after being fouled. You still see some minor scratches over there because the foul itself can only remove the deep cut, but it doesn't remove the slight scratches, and you can see the foul dust. So now for the next step, the instructor is going to use a wet and dry paper. He wet it at the sink and wrap around the foul and start the sanding process. This second step is to remove the slight scratch on the surface of the acrylic. So this is how the surface of the acrylic look like after being sanded by the wet and dry paper. You can hardly see any scratches or any cut on the surface anymore. And this is when you proceed to the buffing machine. What the instructor did just now, he applies the chalk on the buffing wheel to make sure that the buffing effect will get better. And when he holds a piece of materials to polish, he holds it firmly by his two hands and moving very gently along the wheel. After he polished for a while, he will check to see whether it has shine enough. If it's not, he will continue to go through a few more rounds. Remember, never press the material against the wheel because it is either will melt the surface of your acrylic or the turning wheel will force your material to drop down on the floor. So now when you look at the wheel, you notice that there's a few rough area and also there's a few groove over here. So you should place your acrylic edge onto the area that is protruding. You should never put it in the gap over here. This is the gap and you should not put it here. Otherwise, the wheel will never rub onto the surface of the acrylic and it will not get shine. Please be very careful and never buff the material until the tip of the edge. You notice that he doesn't move the tip towards the wheel. Otherwise, the materials may get hit and drop on the floor and break into two. Okay, so let's see whether the edge of the acrylic has been polished and shine enough. And now you notice that the edges has become shinier and polished compared to the previous situation.